What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Ford Era. We're here. You can hear that there's some stuff happening. So, right now, we are working on Snickers, and the main issue is this rust over here. So, my buddy Brian Delfel sent us this out. So we got this piece from my buddy Brian, which he cut out of an original truck. And basically, Dave, you want to tell him what you're doing?
Yeah, well, it came with a double panel, just like it'll be on the reverse on the other side. I'll take this edge off over there. But this all had spot welds on the whole entire thing. So I had to crack every spot weld and knock and grind off piece by piece. All these edges were on here, all the way across. I had a continued edge from where the car was. Cut off the car. I start by taking that whole edge off, I clean it. I'm going to run a tape line now so we have a perfect butt. Then I'm going to butt it just a little outside the area I want to be. So we're just going to wind up with this nice and clean. By the end of the day, we're going to two-part metal prep this with some PPG metal prep in and out. And then I'll start on the other one. I'll take the other one, I'll take this layer on the other side, and he'll show you as we go along. We'll build a shelf and we'll panel bond it all up. But it's all about being clean right now and flat. I re-dollied out this whole area here has been re-dollied. Since I just finished this, I haven't. So I'll take this back over to the table, and so we have a nice flat dollied edge.
So yeah, we're making some progress on Snickers. I'm excited because it's never fun when you find rust. So basically what we're going to be doing is, after he's done on that, he's going to come here, slice real carefully. Then we're going to take off this top layer, and then we're going to put that one on it. We're going to show you how we do it. It's not going to be a step-by-step. It's just going to be an overview. But yeah, and then that's pretty much it for right now. I'll pick you guys back up. I'm going to step out for a sec. So I wanted Dave to basically give you what he's going to be doing.
So next phase in this, obviously, since we have this, by the time you come back before the end of the day, I'll have this trimmed down to one small piece, and I'll have that metal prepped and sitting on the bench, and that will be it for this. I'm going to come in here now and take off this piece. I'm going to take off from here. You see the same seam? I took off the inside on this piece. On this piece, I'm going to take off the outside. So obviously, this piece will go right back in replace of this square piece. Because we've got rust and we don't want to come into the roof, I'm going to just trim it just to the edge, and then I'm going to put on what we call a shelf. I'm going to put another metal piece underneath, and it's going to drop down about 1/8 of an inch. So when I go to put this piece in, it's not flapping, and it will be leaned up against that piece that's in there, and I'll panel bond that in first. The next day I'll butt this all up and I will panel bond this together, seam seal it, and we'll go.
So what are your next steps? Like,
next step is I have to take this whole piece out. Everything that this piece here has to come out all the way across.
So how do you do that?
I'm going to do the reverse of this. I'm going to cut it. These are all spot welds. So unfortunately, this is the thing we give to the do boy in the shop normally, because it's just body welds. So there's no easy way of taking it off. Like I showed you outside, this is a piece by piece process. Each one of these little divots is a factory spot weld.
So how do you
be very careful not to go through, because I need to have the piece that's underneath this. If I take this off and damage the piece that's underneath it, it's all for nothing. So with what you saw outside, with chisels, with little angle grinders, with my DA, with everything I'm in here, I'm going to grind off this whole area. And it'll be self-evident that the next time you see this picture, you'll see exactly. I'll literally be able to lay this piece in and show you now what we have. So that'll be a new, very good metal prepped piece in place. And we'll also, we'll go ahead before we put this all in, and we'll grind the underneath layer. We'll PPG metal prep it up and in, and we'll give it everything we can.
Heck yeah. All right, guys. So it's actually the next day, but Dave kicked butt at the end of yesterday and beginning of today. So we put down the KKP film. I got a bunch of this stuff from Keystone Tape, and you can see that Dave got this all cleaned up. You tell him what you did, pretty much.
Yeah, just reverse of what I did outside there. I just took this piece off now up here, as you know. See, that's this piece, part that's the outside.
Yeah, so this is the original one. He trimmed everything, got it nice, basically to the exact size.
And this now
looks like it's exactly made for that. And now you're gonna just keep going to the rest of it until everything fits up, and then we're gonna either do like pour 15 or rust mort on the inside, get everything all clean and black and new, and then we're going to show you exactly how we plan on attaching all this stuff. So what all did you get done then? And then now you pretty much have it all prepped. So let's give them
came in this morning, did the backing of the last panel over there. We decided at the end to keep that really good steel in the middle. So you can see it wants to move. So to keep some structure and some integrity, we left that in there. I came in this morning, cleaned it all up, wire wheeled everything, and asphalted inside and out. So we're able to get the rust that's on the inside. Same thing with the pieces inner and outer. And then we're going to let these dry overnight. We're going to scuff them tomorrow and put some rust board on them for interior panels for metal. Panel bond them in on Friday and hopefully take them apart and finish the body work on Monday.
It's exciting. So the reason why I wanted to panel bond this stuff in is I don't want to paint any of this, and panel bond is as strong as welding, if not stronger. I mean,
It is stronger.
yeah. So it's going to work great, and I'm going to show you guys the steps, and hopefully, you know, if you need to get this done,
You would have
now
had
you'll know.
you would have had, if you tried with this metal here, had you tried to cut out normally like you would on a quarter or someone place that part of steel, you'd have to come just underneath the strong line of the bend, and you literally would be putting Duraglass and Bondo
It would warp.
across the whole thing.
Yeah. No, the right
It
way.
would warp. It would only stop here if you were lucky.
Yeah.
You would have to paint the whole roof because there's no other break-off line until you get to bend.
Well, usually when this is rusty, what most people do is you just cut it right here and cut it right here, and you get one that's not rusty, and you know what I mean? Most people.
Yeah, well, that's another end. But you have all the rest of it's good structure.
Yeah.
This was more than likely this sat in a place that got a lot of rain.
It was in Oregon.
And they let the seal dry out.
Yeah.
Sat outside, water breached it. We know how it happens, and then that's it. Otherwise, there was nothing wrong with it. Where it didn't go in, this is where it sat in the roof forever.
So we're gonna pick you guys back up.
No paint repair.
No paint repair. We'll pick you guys back up tomorrow when we get some more done. All right, guys, so he might be old, but slow is not a thing that Dave knows anything about, because it's like 7:15 in the morning, and I thought you only get here at 7, but you're already done.
So obviously we missed the text this morning because I could have showed you guys a little further, but obviously you've been following all along. There's 3 separate pieces. So what I've done is, in order to butt this up here once again, keeping in mind that we're doing no body work. So this was all intended when I pull this tape. The new windshield's not going to exceed that line. So what I did was I put the panel bond, really good panel bond, on the actual, this piece of the window, and on the pieces there, I put it fully on the top. So when I put it in and up, it is making that structural, as you can see here. That's gonna, when I pull this tape off, I should have just a little bit of Dremel grinding to get that flat, and that should be perfect seal. So she seals all the way along.
So excited. So this was how we basically figured we could make it a paintless dent repair, and seems like it's working pretty good. So once this is all dry and we peel it off, I'll pick you guys back up. All right, guys, so I came over to Premiere with this broken piece of Snickers to pick up some paint. They put it in a can for me. Now we're gonna head back. All right, guys, so we're back, and you can see this is looking awesome. So Dave, talk to us.
The end of the process. We came in this morning and I put on some bare metal primer. So we got back to covering it. Now put about 4 coats of single stage on there. We're going to peel it back. It's got all, it looks original. It has all the original spot welds on it. And that's a repair without doing any welding and without it doing any Bondo.
So now we're gonna reveal it, huh? This is my favorite part.
Always peel out in a way whenever you're peeling the tape. It's called cutting the paint. If you try and peel out, you have a chance of pulling something away. This is a painter's trick we call peeling, cutting the tape. Nice clean line, right by the original seal line. Took it to that outside edge a little bit.
I'm so excited. So this line is literally right where the white line is, which the seal is going to go right up to it.
Right on it. Almost literally like the smallest under, believe it or not. Barely. That'll be totally covered by this.
Man, this looks awesome. We're gonna finish taking everything off and I'm gonna show you guys. So while we're on peeling everything, I wanted to highlight the guys over at Keystone. So they make this, it's called KKP film. And you put this over anything when you don't want to scratch it, but it has a very, very low tack. So you don't have to worry about it like messing up any of the paint. So yeah.
Love it, actually. There's a lot of products that I've used like this that are a little bit either too sticky or not sticky enough. It really just gets, and it sits on everything. Just like a cellophane.
Yeah, no,
makes masking much easier. Once again, always, anytime you're pulling anything with adhesive, it'll pull away from a paint. Always peel backward. Doesn't put any stress on the paint. Takes it all away. House paint, car paint.
All right, guys, it's all unwrapped. I've actually been looking at this thing for like an hour now. I am obsessed. Look how good it looks. You can still see all the factory rivets. You did very light body work. And then the brown line, if you actually look real close, you could see the white line is right underneath it. So this turned out insanely good. I'm so happy with this result. Now, I need to buff the A-pillar because I don't think I'll ever have a chance to do that again. And then get the window installed. So I figured, since this looks so good, I can't just put a window in. So what do you think?
At least I wasn't rust anymore, so that's a win.
Yeah, but I'm sure you have your tetanus shots up to date. So what are you here to do right now?
Polish what no one can do unless the windshield's off. So we're polishing this area as well as inner channels that have never been polished.
Yeah, so
probably ever.
when Rome buffed the whole truck, he didn't obviously buff this because you couldn't. So we're gonna buff this just so that way it's shiny, because eventually we're gonna rebuff the whole truck. So I was like, hey, if you have time, come over and knock this out. That way I can finish putting the window in. So right now, I'll go get my GoPro and put on a time lapse. You can just see Danny working hard because he's saving up to buy a house. Well, all my GoPro batteries are dead, so no time lapse. Here you go. So what's the process?
We just wiped it down, make sure we had a clean area. And now, since I have a smaller polisher, I'm using my drill with a wool attachment to do the heavy cut. I'll wipe this area down now and then go back at it with a polish with a foam pad. You can already see the shines back.
Oh yeah. It's the simple things.
Single stage paint.
Oh yeah, it's the best. So I guess while you're here, you're like gonna keep cleaning, huh?
Might as well.
So what are you using so people know?
This is an IPA, so it's just alcohol and distilled water. Just to make sure there's no grime under there, no old waxes, which I doubt, but it's what I had on me.
You know, what's funny is that they didn't pull any of the trim back in the 80s when they painted this thing. Look at all that overspray. That's funny. saw they put the window in and it looks great, and I'm excited because now we can move on to the next step. And there's so much more stuff to do on Snickers. But if you guys enjoyed this video, or if you're, just let me know, what do you think about that repair? A lot of people have a lot of things to say about it, and I'm curious. I'm happy with it. Truck's done, glass is back in it. That's really what matters to me. And now I actually have to go ahead on a really fun trip. We're doing Nebraska all the way back. So you guys stay tuned for the videos coming. Subscribe, like, and see you then.